Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, Internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. And in today's video, we're going to be conducting an interview with a new young YouTuber who has begun a review and a reaction channel that has been getting a lot of attention lately. This with me on the line is Rory of the Dad Reacts YouTube channel. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. That was a very thoughtful question. I thought I was going to be dishing out all the questions here, but it's you. So let me ask you just to kind of kick things off. You've been getting a lot of attention lately, a lot of people reacting very strongly to your YouTube videos, whether they're clipped over on Twitter or just on the YouTube platform itself, where you're kind of reacting to and reviewing music from Brockhampton and Death Grips and JPEG Mafia and J. Cole and Jake Paul, even the new Kali Uchis record. What has the reception been so far with this recent influx of viewers? Has it been mostly positive, kind of mixed? It just kind of seems like to me that most people can't believe that a kid your age would be reviewing music or wanting to review music or have any kind of opinion on music.
So my kind of opinion on it is I've basically just been getting mostly positive things. Of course, I get some of the hate comments and I just laugh at them and but I think it's like 99% positive. And yeah, I thought that when I started off the channel, what I really meant it for was to just basically do it for my friends and just send them videos to make them laugh. And it was mostly like skits and stuff. But then now it just randomly blew up, and I'm really thankful for that. And yeah, it's basically just it's changed my life in some ways, but not totally crazy. Like I still have a school life. I still like do normal things that other kids like me do. But yeah, basically positive stuff.
So you're saying the fame hasn't gotten to your head then?
Yeah.
Are you walking around school like, hey, I'm that guy. I'm that guy from YouTube. I'm the guy with the YouTube React channel that everybody's watching.
No, that's kind of like what other people kind of say.
Uh-huh.
Like they're just like telling their friends when I'm next to them, "Oh my gosh, you know this dude is on YouTube," and they're just like, "Yeah, I know. I've heard that story." And but yeah.
All right. So you started making skits, you're telling me, on the YouTube channel. Is that how you started? That was like the inception. That was the beginning of the YouTube channel?
Yeah, that was basically what it was. I would just sometimes I just in school I would read an article about something that I thought was funny or that I thought was like kind of weird, and then I would just basically make a skit out of it, kind of going on the form of like a Vine kind of video.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I would just basically send it to my friends and just do it for making them laugh. And yeah.
So what made you eventually transition into reviewing and reacting to music and then kind of bringing your dad into the fold to react to music with you?
Um, so how I started basically reviewing and stuff is I saw a lot of music reviewers and reactors such as you and Tabby and Big Quint and Chauncey and a bunch of other people. And then also I saw the Fine Bros and I saw them do the Parents React. And then I was just thinking, hey, why not bring my dad into the mix? And I've always had a passion for music. Just recently getting into hip hop music, but when I was younger, I kind of liked rock and grunge and some punk kind of stuff too. But basically, I just started listening to Kanye West because sometimes my mom would put him in on the car, and a lot of Tribe Called Quest. And then I just started liking hip hop and just started making videos and reviewing it to show other people out there my opinion on it.
So you've seen all these other reviewers and reactors out there. When kind of seeing what they were doing, what did you feel like you were going to bring to the table that was going to be different? Because obviously, if you thought that you were going to do the same thing everybody else was going to do, you wouldn't even try. So obviously, you're trying to do something different.
I think what I kind of thought of doing was just kind of getting my dad's reaction, and then kind of doing like a kind of father to son kind of thing, discussing music with each other and having fun together while filming it and posting it on YouTube. And I thought, hey, that's a good idea. Why not try it?
Got it. And as of right now, are you paying your dad anything? Are you making sure that he's getting like a good check out of this? I mean, I know most of it's going to you, but are you giving your dad enough perks to incentivize him to keep coming on and doing videos?
No, not really.
No, you're underpaying your father?
No.
Weird.
That's paying me.
Okay, all right then. All right, okay, so he's handling the money. He's being your accountant. He's being your business manager. I get it. I got it. I understand.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the process for you of finding out about new music. Obviously, you just said that you watch all of these different reviewers and reactors. I'm sure you're finding out about some music through YouTube, but is there a lot of music that you're finding out about in other places on the internet, or maybe getting recommendations from your friends or something like that?
Sometimes my friends recommend stuff, like you said, like how I really started getting into some of the groups that I really like now is through my friends and them just texting me, hey, you should check out this band. And then, yeah, but also sometimes I scroll through iTunes or Apple Music and I look through the whatever editor's picks or whatever. And what I like looking at is like some of the more experimental stuff because I always like the off the wall kind of stuff. And that's how I found one of my favorite albums of the year so far. It's Lucy Railton's Paradise 94,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really underrated, so you guys should check it out.
Well, there you go. Rory's already turning us on to stuff we're not even 10 minutes into the interview.
Yeah.
Well, so you're telling me about these through ways with which you're finding out about music. When you have a favorite artist, and this is something that I think separates my generation from your generation and your dad's generation as well. What do you do once you found out about that artist, or you've heard the record and you really like it? Do you, as a younger person, have any desire to then spend money on music, buy the music, own the music physically? Or for you, is it just kind of like streaming? If I really like it, I'll just stream it and I'll keep it sort of saved in my favorites on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever, and I don't really need to own it physically or even digitally. Streaming is just kind of the easiest, most simple way to do it, and that's just what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of a mix of both. What I normally do is I stream it on Apple Music because it's another cheap way of accessing a bunch of music that you like or could just randomly find out about without buying the record or buying it digitally. But also I sometimes like buying it on my iPad if I really like the record. And soon, well, I've already been looking at records, but I haven't gotten my hands on some of the ones that I want. But yeah, I kind of want to start a little bit of a vinyl collection. Because we have a working what's it called, record player.
Okay.
But yeah, but also I just got this new Wu-Tang CD.
Oh, okay.
And
Is that Iron Flag?
It's Iron. Yeah, it is Iron Flag.
Yeah.
So I've never heard this one, but I'm just a big fan of Wu-Tang.
Yep.
And my mom was going to the record shop, and I just found this on CD. And I thought, since her car has a CD player in it, and also she could play it through the computer, I said, why not? Let's get it.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. So obviously you have some kind of interest, according to you, in owning music physically. Maybe not all the music you listen to, but maybe the music that you feel means the most to you. it seems like that it seems like your parents are also kind of an influence on you in terms of like what music you're hearing and what music you're finding out about. Also, obviously, you're hearing about stuff from your friends, you're seeing stuff recommended online through Apple Music or Editor's Picks, and all that stuff is new for the most part. Do you personally have any kind of feelings stronger toward newer music versus older music? I mean, is there anything that sort of comes to mind when maybe your dad is showing you a band that maybe he grew up with, or he remembers from years ago? Is it to you something that can be just as entertaining as newer music, something that interests you, or does that just kind of feel like a distant relic to you? Are things like Brockhampton and whatever is happening currently more interesting to you?
I think I really like newer stuff, and a lot of Brockhampton is really cool, and it's very evolutionary. Like, in this generation, it's just they're just paving a path, like a new path in music. But also, I love some old stuff. Just recently, I started revisiting a lot of older hip hop. Just recently, it was Illmatic's. Um, I think like 22nd or something, or maybe,
It's
yeah,
up.
I think.
It's up there. It's been around a while.
But it was like its anniversary
Mm.
recently. So then I just checked it out for the first time, and I came back really liking it. And it kind of reminded me of like the newer music, and like it shows that the newer music gets inspired by older music, and yeah, not all older music is bad, because some people think that the newer music is so much better than the older music, and I would disagree.
Well, obviously, that's an opinion that you hold. Is that something that, in your experience, has been kind of a prevailing opinion amongst your friends, people who that are around your age? That older music is boring. It's in the past. It's whatever. Newer music is just better. Is that something that you feel like a lot of people who your age feel, or do most people that in class kind of have the same opinion that you two that you do? That there's a lot of great older music. There's a lot of great newer music too.
Yeah, I think that a lot of my friends, like, they basically only listen to the newer music in my class, but some of them, like some of my closest friends, listen to the older music, and we always discuss it. And yeah, so it's kind of like a mix in between. It's kind of 50-50.
Okay. Moving on from there, can you tell me just, as an example, what a few of your favorite artists are right now? It doesn't matter if they're old or if they're new, but recently, who do you find yourself listening to the most and enjoying the most?
Recently, I really like Caliucci's new album, Isolation, and I've just, ever since my reaction to it, I've just been listening to it in the car, like over and over again, and I think it's really good. And also, I really like Jack White's new album too. That's definitely on the albums of the year. But also, I like a lot of old school, A Tribe Called Quest, and a lot of old school hip hop. I've been really listening to it a lot. I really like their album. I actually forget what it's called. Let me search it up.
You're
But
talking about a Tribe album? You're talking
yeah,
about Low End Theory or Midnight Marauders or?
that was Midnight Marauders. Yeah, I really like that one. And like kind of how they're sticking to the, well, of course they're like going on different subjects, but they're kind of sticking to the same like kind of concept about the whole Midnight Marauders thing.
Mhm. Next question. I didn't think of this question before. It just kind of dawned on me now with you saying that, you're talking about listening to artists that you like in the car and so on and so forth. Thinking about that, obviously your parents are listening to a lot of this stuff with you. Um,
Yeah.
what do your mom and dad think of, Tyler the Creator or Brockhampton or whatever newer stuff that you're listening to? Are they enjoying that music with you for the most part, or they just kind of let you listen to what you listen to because they're just open to that?
I think they're very open, and but also they love a lot of the stuff
Mm-hmm.
that I'm showing them.
Are they into the Kali Uchis record?
Oh yeah, my dad loves that record. Like over 8. Yeah.
Injury reserve.
Yeah, Dad said injury reserve, Caliucci's, Brockhampton,
Got it.
all that.
All right.
I too.
So aside from just merely being a music fan and playing music and following it closely, do you have any other music related hobbies? Do you play any instruments yourself or anything? Or
Well, in music class, I'm trying to learn the ukulele
okay.
and some of that stuff. And last year, I actually learned how to do play the recorder for multiple songs, and uh, it was basically the easiest thing.
Yeah, they kind of force the recorder on you in school. It's nice to know they still do that.
Yeah, but also a lot of you guys know that I love playing the drums all the time,
Okay.
and I have drum class like every Sunday, and so yeah, I'm really passionate about that kind of stuff. And right now, I actually going back to when you said like about the older kind of music, I'm actually playing a Gang of Four song on the drums, and I'm learning with my drum teacher, and so it's really cool.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me who, in your opinion, you think, as far as newer artists that you like, your favorite newer artists, if you could make a bit of an informed prediction, just based on what you're enjoying, what you think is good, what you think isn't, who do you think 20 years from now we're going to look back on and say, hey, that person put out a classic record. That's a classic artist, or that album is a classic.
Well, I think that I'm not sure if the mainstream's really gonna like this, but
No, there's no wrong answer. Whatever you feel, it's whatever you feel.
but like I think a lot of people are just gonna think that. Well, at least I think that the powers that be from Death Grips is
Okay.
totally a classic, totally pushing the boundaries, and I really like it. And also, just a lot of records. I think Flower Boy was a really great one that was on my list, and I did give it a 9, but then it's been slightly like going up even more, and it grows on you. I think it really grows on you, and a lot of stuff. I'm sure a lot of people will think that The Life of Pablo by Kanye West is gonna be classic, at least in my opinion. I really like that album. It was still on the experimental side, but like kind of focusing more on kind of making a really well composed experimental hip hop album, uh, unlike Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
All right. So to kind of do the flip of that question, the reverse of that question, who right now do you think is making some of the worst music?
Oh, well.
Yeah, just a couple names.
Yeah. I recently reacted to Jake Paul's Litmus.
Okay, yeah.
He just needs to. I think he can continue with the vlogs and stuff. That's cool. I'm fine with that. Of course, I won't be watching them or enjoying any of his content for a while. I don't think, unless if he does something impactful for the world or something. But I think I just don't think he can rap. And on his Litmus album, he was just covering some of his older songs, like It's Everyday Bro, and changing it into a holiday hit and saying really cringeworthy lyrics like on Teen 10, one of the girls said, yeah, I smell good. Is that Christmas tree cologne? And it's just, yeah, I don't really enjoy his music, and yeah, that's all I can really think of right now, because that's just been stuck in my brain for a while. Well, the good thing about it is it's really catchy. Well, it's good for some people, but it's bad for me because I'm always just whenever someone says every day or bro or something in class, I'm just thinking of it's every day, bro, and yeah.
All right. A couple more questions. One for you, and I have a question I wanted to kind of wrap things up with bringing your dad in, because obviously I don't think this would be like a Dad Reacts interview if we didn't bring Dad in just for a second. But the last question I wanted to ask you was I know you watch me among a lot of other YouTube reviewers as well, but since I'm here and I can react to what you're saying, I'll ask you straight up. What review would you say you disagree with me the most on?
Oh dang. I think um I actually kind of enjoyed Jaden Smith's Sire.
Okay.
Of course, I don't.
We're
think
gonna go
I
toe to toe on Sire now. It had to be Sire.
Yeah. I I didn't think that it should be on my top 10, but I think at some parts it's kind of lazy and but other times I think that he produced some really cool evolutionary kind of sound on it, and yeah, I enjoyed parts of it.
That's fair. A lot of people have told me that it's not the most amazing album in the world, but maybe I was too hard on it. I've heard that from a lot of people. So let me bring Dad in for one question before we wrap things up. So Rory is here listening to and reviewing a lot of music, a lot of which a lot of people may sort of see and have a reaction that, well, that has strong language, adult themes, and so on and so forth. And I think a lot of people would sort of make this presumption that as a result of him hearing that at the age that he's hearing it, he's going to have some kind of horrible reaction to that, or it's going to leave an awful impression on him, and so on and so forth. But it seems pretty clear that, as a parent, you have taken him aside and had a conversation with him, saying, and tell me if I'm on the money with this. Hey, listen, this is a song. This is for entertainment. What happens in a song is what happens in a song. Just because an artist or a song does something does not mean that you need to do it or repeat it or think it or whatever. So I mean, is this a conversation that you're having with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talk about it pretty much every time.
Yeah.
The early reactions, I spend half the time reacting to the language. It's like, oh, they can't say that. And, oh my God, that's a great song, but the language. And, in fact,
but wait a second. I'm sure that when you were his age, you listened to some songs that had some questionable language in it, though.
Yeah, definitely, because the Sex Pistols and things like that. And
sure.
Actually, I made my parents listen to the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, Dad reacts
which
on a
I
whole
did
other
once
level.
and then never again. But no, it's we've talked about it. We talk about it all the time. We try not to use too much of that language ourselves all the time, except for his mother.
Mom swears the most. I got it.
She's Irish. And but we had one guy comment once, because there've been a couple people that said he shouldn't be listening to this and blah blah blah. We had a guy comment once who said that, I think he was a psychologist, and he said that actually exposing children to more types of language and more types of reality of what's really out there is helpful to them and makes them grow up healthier in socializing and dealing with things. So I stuck with that. I took that little grain and I ignored the other 100 people that said you're ruining your child.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, there's this prevailing argument that media can be super destructive and influential in a negative way to people who are younger or people who are impressionable. But what I think a lot of people don't really understand, and maybe this is because of their own relationships with their own parents, but if you have strong parental figures there kind of guiding you and instructing you and informing you while dealing with this outside stimuli, like you said, different ways of language, different realities, so on and so forth, like you can remain a grounded person.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like a lot of these people, especially who are older now, tend to forget just how much music there was back in the day that skirted good taste. I mean, I remember when I was around Rory's age, I was listening to Biggie and Coolio and Rage Against the Machine and Green Day and so on and so forth, all of whom had some pretty racy lyrics.
Yeah, I'd agree. And I think if those people actually had a relation, if you have a relationship with your kid and you can talk about stuff, then they can see, they're going to see things or hear things. But if you have that relationship, you can talk to them about it, then it shouldn't be a problem, because obviously we're damaged, I think, from our childhoods. But we can learn from that and make the next generation better.
No, that's true. It's all about kind of openness and having a two-way street, and kind of understanding that while you have influence on your children, they're going to have their own thoughts and ideas as well. And, the best way to kind of have an impact on that or help them with that is to, respect them for, having their own ideas and their own opinions, and, just kind of giving them your own, almost like in a peer kind of way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on, and, we're going to link the YouTube channel down there in the description box, and, we can watch you guys react from now until forever, or however long you want to do it. It's I don't know if you're going to be reacting with your dad hanging out in the wheelchair, and you're like, oh, are we going to see Mom reacting soon? Is Mom going to be reacting at any point?
I'm just nervous that I might use some bad language and ruin everything.
Well, you're the one playing Wu-Tang in the car, so you're the one playing Kanye in the car, so.
He has seen all of Wes Anderson's films.
Uh-huh.
We decide what he watches and what he doesn't watch. And, we talk about all these things together. He's turned us on to so many great musicians. And I just feel like it's an opportunity as a family to grow together. And as a person who's getting older, it's an opportunity for me to kind of continue growing and loving music.
Yeah, because he's going to be kind of your gateway into whatever is new and whatever is interesting and whatever's, going on with his generation.
And it's incredibly boring if you don't invest the time and participate, because he's in the car talking about it, because it means so much to him. So it's a good idea to get involved, so you actually really understand what's going on. And I think it's brilliant.
Well, I'm really excited. This has been a great interview. I appreciate you guys coming on and just kind of giving us some insight into the videos and everything else too.
Thank you for being a great influence on Ruairi, by the way.
Yeah.
And thank you for the John Prine review. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
that's-
mom.
Yeah, it's a really good record. It's a good record.
He's fantastic. We love him.
Yeah, he's just fantastic.
Yeah, great poet.
All right, I'm gonna link the YouTube channel down in the description. I want to thank Rory and his parents for coming on and talking with me. You guys are the best.
Likewise.
Forever.